inmate from the past needs a beating. And I can't believe I have to continue with the No One Lives Forever. Wait. Okay, I'll take the benefit of the doubt here. Here's No One Lives Forever 2. Now, unlike its predecessor, it did not have a PS2 port. And that's because shortly after the release of this game, the studio behind this, Monolith Productions, was acquired by Warner Brothers, which is a subsidiary of Time Warner. There's actually a lot of dispute over copyright of who owned the franchise. So it, of course, vanished into oblivion without any wonder on whether or not those two games would actually be released to the Steam network or any other digital downloads. And you'll find out probably for good reason. And surprisingly, you'll find out that this game is a hell of a lot shorter than the original, despite the fact of adding several new gameplay elements, like improving your combat abilities, and in regards to your health, defense, and stealth, and carrying capacity for ammo. These skills are upgraded through points you collect through completing certain objectives and finding intelligence items. It can really help you later on in the game as enemies get tougher and more paranoid as you sneak by. Guess what? It still sucks! So the plot takes place 1 year after the first game, and Volkov actually has new plans this time. Now wait a minute! That's the H.A.R.M director? But how? Last time I saw you on the space station! You're supposed to be dead because you were on it before it blew up, and you were clearly not among the people that made it safely to the escape pods, as I actually observed. And your first stop is actually to a small village in Japan to actually photograph a meeting between the H.A.R.M director and his ninja girls that he hires to kill you. Ninja girls that obviously appear to be the direct descendants of Misao Makimachi. Wait. Oh god, no! Seriously, Misao better not be in this game. People will die. Good people will die. Luckily, I still have the fantasy of headshotting her with a crossbow. I can just imagine her standing there. When you confront them, you don't have any guns to begin with until the very end of the mission. You're left with mainly swords, a crossbow, and some shurikens, which don't do much damage or much accuracy to begin with.
It's me, Santa. Say hello to... Don't shoot the bloody bird. No, target practice with the bird. Very, very funny. On certain missions, please don't shoot the bird. And shooting the bird is a waste of money. This is an expensive bird.
Seriously, you couldn't give me a tutorial before the mission? You actually had to send a robotic bird give me tutorials through the entire game while on a mission, even when enemies are firing at me! If you run out of ammo, you're fucked. The only thing you can possibly rely on at this point is if you happen to find an angry cat. It's a robotic cat that explodes. And guess where the button to turn it on is located? Right on its ass. Yes. What were the developers thinking to put a red butt plug here as a button to turn on the explosive? Oh, and you just gotta hope that it hits your enemy. Otherwise, it could just charge right at you and explode. So this is a fucking useless weapon to begin with. You thought the robotic pheromone poodle was bad. Look at the exploding butt plug cat bomb. you're actually able to search through items rather than just picking up random briefcases that people are dumb enough to leave laying around. And the good part is you get to heal on your mission. Now, the amount of which you will heal are based on the types of random meta packs that you'll find throughout each level. And speaking of which, you can actually loot from your fallen foes, and you can also get body armor or health packs from some of the random enemies that drop by. And part of the stealth part, which is even more annoying than just trying to vanish bodies with a special body remover, or just wait for them to disappear, is you have to lift them up and haul them out of the way through a corner as to not draw suspicion. Which, by the way, is completely useless on later levels, because even after I remove bodies from the scene, the guards are still paranoid.
What happened? You are a brave man. Show yourself! Don't make me hunt you down!
But on the upside, what you can do is teabag time! Anyway, after making your way through the compound, you photograph the meeting between the H.A.R.M director and the ninja leader, who is supposed to carry out his plan until you're attacked by another group of ninjas. And as you make your way back to your spawning point, you are then met by the lead ninja, Isako, which you will eventually fight again under a very bizarre circumstance. And she stabs you in the chest for it. And it's not long until you actually just wake up and seemingly recover from being stabbed in the chest to meet your new comrades, including a stereotypical grouchy general.
The second them Reds set foot on that island, Uncle Sam's got a Polaris-shaped surprise package waiting to be signed, sealed, and delivered.
Give me another Cuban cigar, why don't you? Yeah, so the mission in this story is to uncover H.A.R.M's plan of this new conspiracy called Operation Omega. And spoiler alert, it also uses people as weapons. So the first stop that we go to in order to recover information on Project Omega is Siberia. To do good, we get to drive the snowmobile again, because remember how fucked up that was in the last game? There's no difference! So after retrieving a gas tank for your snowmobile, because it's obviously out of fuel, he's too stupid to give it a full tank of gas every now and then, we then actually have to sabotage the Soviets' communication towers before making it to their main base. Just as after I plant a bomb in the radio tower, my pilot's been captured, and so I have to again kill more Russian guards. Continue escorting them until they quit spawning out from under other buildings. So when you get through there, the security cameras are back, so you gotta be stealthy again, but if you want to save some health, because all it would technically do is every time the alarm is sound, or if you're caught on one of their security cameras, it'll just summon more reinforcements. But luckily, one of your utility launchers is equipped with a camera disabler to make it a lot easier. Wouldn't that add more suspicion to anyone who's monitoring the camera why it's suddenly turned off? So after planting more bombs on bridges, and I actually then make my way through the main building. But nope, you can't get to the main building until you turn off the electric fence. And take a wild guess to what you have to do to turn it off. You pour sugar in the generator. After you make your way through the main archives, which you can easily navigate through with the handy-dandy floor plans you collect around, so that you just don't get lost and among the randomly spawning guards, that the archives on Project Omega is located in a computer room, which can be turned on by finding one of the vacuum tubes in the basement. But then after you print out information on their plans for Project Omega, you attract more attention, and so you have to now is the time to get the hell out of there. But wait, the exploding bridge will now allow you to jump gaps, and just begging for you not to fall down. The H.A.R.M agents are even joining in forces with the Soviet guards, and you actually have to make it back to your cabin time because they planted a bomb on your plane, so you have to shoot the 2 remaining H.A.R.M lackeys there and defuse the bomb. But then it turns out, but don't worry, your pilot's been hiding the whole time while drunk on vodka, so you have to make him a cup of coffee in order for him to be sober enough to fly again. Bad news, guy, coffee and alcohol don't really mix well. Aside from giving your pilot 4 Loko, you finally get back on the plane, and now your only recourse is to search the fake Tom Goodman's house. Because obviously, the Unity team is obviously the dumbest investigators on Earth, I think it could be because they're too stupid to go inside a boarded up house that's ready to be torn down. Or simply not even look in the obvious locations.
I've got the look, I've got the walk, I've got the moves, but I'm still not getting the chicks. Mr. X hasn't been helpful. I'm starting to wonder if he takes me seriously. What, does he think I am a sock puppet, huh? Is that it, Mr. X? You think you can just stick your hand in my butt and make me dance? Tom Goodman dances for nobody.
Now, if all the important tapes were hidden in various drawers and cabinets throughout the houses, and being the only object in those drawers, they wouldn't even bother to look there, and even find the tape recorder conveniently sitting up on the table. So after you play Goodman's tapes and make his way through the basement to recover the training manual, you're ambushed by the group of ninjas again. And they don't tend to be too big of a hassle because, aha! I've got a gun, bitch! Then after you make your way out of the window, more ninjas spawn out of the house coming for you. And there's obviously a tornado warning ahead. Isn't there bigger concerns than trying to have me dead? Shouldn't you worry about taking cover before trying to kill me first? It goes far enough to the point where I fight the leader, and it leads into a trailer that just happens to be the one that gets sucked up in a tornado.
You're very determined. I made a promise.
And this next segment of the boss fight is relatively too easy. All you really have to do is just back yourself into a corner and click, because she'll just vanish and reappear over and over again. So tactic is to just clicking a button until you actually win. And to luck, she flies off like Mary Poppins. And I somehow survive all this. Yes, I digress. There has been people that have survived miraculously after being sucked up into a tornado. But guess what? They were not running around the home and fighting each other while they were doing it. Because it would obviously that they would be impaled or beheaded by the flying debris. And speaking of which, the next is going to blow your mind away. I mean, it's just so stupid. You just can't comprehend it.